Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Shaylee Brown. I'm going to be leading a discussion that relates to the concepts of validity and reliability with regards to qualitative research. Qualitative studies using interviews as a methodology have often been considered complex in comparison to traditional investigations. This complexity has been noted due to the multiplicity of techniques used in qualitative research, and through an understanding that the researcher is the sole instrument of the study and the primary mode of data collection. Qualitative research asserts that rigor directly correlates with concepts of validity and reliability, and it is understood that these components are necessary to define quality in a study and its findings. Therefore, it is important to explore the topics of validity and reliability and support scientific rigor in qualitative studies. So what exactly is validity? While the concept of validity has been challenged in qualitative studies using interviews as a methodology, the need for some form of qualifying measure has been deemed necessary for this type of research. Validity in qualitative research has been defined as a universal concept that is not fixed, but instead is a contingent construct that is grounded in the processes and intentions of a specific research methodology. Validity in qualitative research could be supported by the integrity and application of the chosen methodology and the accuracy of the findings to reflect the data. Methodology, choice, and approach in qualitative research is critical for ensuring validity of the research findings and must be appropriate in relation to the research question. So with that being said, how exactly can we achieve validity in qualitative research? Well, the utilization of interviews in qualitative research proposes challenges to the concept of validity. The concept of validity is often defined in terms of truth, which suggests that there is a pure form of truth that exists that can be discovered using valid research methods. Issues with validity are related to the conceptualization of knowledge and truth. Validity in relation to using interviews as a methodology can be supported by understanding that there are multiple ways of knowing and multiple truths that exist. Kuzmanek suggests that valid qualitative research considers the representation of varying social worlds and that truth is established through dialogue. In relation to interviews as a methodology, validity is established and constructed through the process of interviewing. In an attempt to establish validity in qualitative studies, it is important to consider the influence that the interviewer has on the interviewee. This concept relates to the basic theory of interviewer bias. These influences can also result from other factors, such as the location in which the interview is being conducted. Completing interviews in an environment that is safe for open communication, quiet, comfortable, private, and convenient for both parties is crucial for maintaining good rapport. In addition, personal characteristics of the interviewer, such as age, social class, race, and ethnicity, can influence the interview process in a way that may create biases in the data interpretation. The ability to establish rapport can promote the gathering and gaining of relevant information needed to maintain validity in research. Good rapport can be established by maintaining confidentiality, establishing trust, and using a calm and reassuring tone. As we continue our discussion on the achievement of validity in qualitative research, it is important for the researcher to acknowledge the potential for lost information in the transformation of verbal data into written data. To avoid misinterpretation of data, the researcher should also record the interview. While transcribing interviews can be time-consuming and introduce concerns regarding confidentiality, it is the responsibility of the researcher to reassure participants that names and identities will not be shared through a formal consent process. To further support validity in qualitative research, using interviews, the researcher should also attempt to bring awareness to his or her own actions through self-reflection and eliminate their influence in the study to reduce researcher bias. Researchers can support validity by stating any preconceived personal thoughts or beliefs to allow readers to decide the extent in which these beliefs have influenced the data. The interpretation of data collected through interviews directly impacts the validity of the proposed research, while simultaneously enforcing the reliability of the research data. We have just concluded the section on validity with regards to qualitative research. The concept of reliability suggests that when replicated, a study should achieve the same results when using the same methods. Reliability is thought to be achieved when the findings of a study can be continuously replicated, therefore creating stability of the results or observations. Given that human behaviors and interactions are variable in nature, and measurements and observations can repeatedly be incorrect, the application of reliability as a concept in qualitative studies can be misleading. Regardless, we can support the quality of the study and its reliability by applying 4 aspects of trustworthiness. These aspects include credibility, transferability, dependability, and confirmability. Credibility refers to the truthful representation of a participant's lived experience. This can be achieved through prolonged engagement and continuous observation. Good rapport can allow the researcher to become oriented to the situation and build trust with participants. Using triangulation methods and cross-checking data and interpretations across categories can increase credibility of the data. Member checks, which are also known as participant or respondent validation, is a technique that is used to explore the credibility of results. Collected data can be returned to participants to check accuracy and reasoning based on their experiences and can be completed consistently to confirm data and interpretations. The concept of transferability in qualitative studies suggests that research findings could be applicable to other contexts, situations, and populations. Transferability can be enhanced with the use of purposive sampling methods and providing a thick description. A thick description is a detailed documentation of any field experiences and highlights any patterns or cultural and social relationships and puts them into context. It is possible for the researcher to consider interviewing additional participants for the purpose of increasing the scope and appropriateness of the data collected. Researchers should also consider having a professional transcribe the data. From the research data, categorization and ordering of data can aid in highlighting themes, creating a final report that is true and accurate. So how exactly can we define dependability? Dependability in research signifies a commitment to consistency. Researchers using interviews to gather research data should consider including external professionals such as other researchers or specialists to review data sets and validate identified themes. New themes should be considered and compared to the original thematic analysis. The goal is ultimately to reiterate and support common findings from the collected data. The concept of confirmability suggests that the analysis is grounded in the collected data and that the inferences made from the data are logical. Researchers should keep a detailed journal with notes during the research process that highlight any thoughts that may be beneficial during the study. An audit trail should be completed through documentation to examine processes of data collection and review interpretations being made. It is also important to consider reflexivity during this process. The researcher should maintain self-awareness as the sole instrument of the study and to reduce potential research bias. While validity in qualitative research can be a major challenge, it can be supported by careful recording, continuous verification of data, and evaluating potential researcher bias through reflexivity. It is important to realize that a study can be reliable without being valid, but a study cannot be valid without being reliable. Therefore, by applying the 4 aspects of trustworthiness, reliability can be supported in qualitative research and result in increased validity of the study overall.